We have a great show for you today. We have Patrick DiMarco, who is a legend in Colombia because of all the years that he played football here. He played in Carolina from 2007 to 2010, and then the NFL for 9 years after that. And we get into all kinds of things about his career, about what he's doing now. He talks about his very first ever hit. He talks about how he got the nickname Patty Pancakes, his jersey numbers, and very interestingly, his 3 rules from Coach Spurrier. So I hope you enjoy. Thanks for listening.
This episode is brought to you by our sponsor, Warren and Dillon, the Midland's trusted personal injury lawyers. Here's some great advice from our sponsor.
Hey there, Brett Warren with Warren and Dillon. I wanted to talk to you today about some of the biggest mistakes you can make when it comes to dealing with insurance companies. I think one of them is giving a recorded statement to the insurance company. The problem is that the insurance companies, they're doing these recorded statements to help their case and to hurt yours. And so they're going to ask some sneaky questions that are designed to hurt your case. One quick example, they'll ask how many feet away you were from the other car when you first noticed them. Nobody really knows the answer to that. But what they're going to do is they're going to say, hey, you should have noticed that other car, and now you're 20% at fault. So do yourself a favor, just don't do it or talk to a lawyer first. Trusted advice, proven results, Warren and Dillon.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Here for the Health of It podcast. I'm Dr. Randy here with Dr. Tom, as always, and we have a great show today. We have a legend in the South Carolina world in the house. We have Patrick DiMarco.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the show. So you have a ton of things going on. We were talking a little bit before, so let me just give the listeners a couple things here. So you played for the Carolina Gamecocks from 2007 to 2010. Mm-hmm. That's how a lot of people around here really know about you.
Got obsessed with you.
Dude, when I was talking to guys that you were coming on here, they were just getting giddy.
Oh, goodness gracious.
So
you love getting guys giddy.
And then you played in the NFL from 2011 to 2020. Mm-hmm. The Chargers, Chiefs, Falcons for 4 years, where you lost in the Super Bowl to the Patriots.
Thanks for the reminder.
Which was a tough one, yep. And then the Buffalo Bills for 4 years.
Yep.
And now you are in all kinds of business stuff, but your profile on Instagram says Christian, husband, and dad.
Yep, those are the 3 most important things.
And I told you that you might be the Tim Tebow of Colombia,
Yeah.
which you said you've never heard before.
And my remark was, he did something a lot cooler. I blocked people, he scored a lot of touchdowns.
And just stay a little closer. We get super loud, so just stay close. All right, so we want to hear all about this. So did you grow up in Colombia?
No, I actually grew up in Orlando, Florida.
Okay.
Altamont Springs, a small little suburb on the outside. And kind of my dad is the oldest of 3 boys. Uncle Chris is the youngest, and he played professional golf.
Chris
Really?
DiMarco.
Yep, so he was on the PGA Tour for a long time. He's currently on the Senior PGA Tour.
Guy's a stud.
The Champions
Wow.
Tour.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
be politically correct. So we were a pretty tight-knit family right there. Have a kind of an athletic background. My mom's dad, Wayne Floyd, played football at Troy, and then my dad's dad played basketball at St. Joe's. I have a cousin who played baseball in the Baltimore Orioles organization, and then obviously Uncle Chris. Chris's son, Christian, is now currently just played in his first ever PGA Tour event. He played in a couple Korn Ferry Tour events. So I'm the only athlete that was dumb enough to do a really physical sport and beat myself up.
So you didn't have much of an option to be an artist growing up.
Very low.
There's a lot of expectation.
Nope.
That's cool. And then Florida people are obsessed with Florida. People that grew up in Florida. Like Tom's wife is from Florida. Yeah. She's obsessed with it. Are you kind of like that too or no?
Florida's a pretty cool spot.
Yeah.
But my wife swore up and down. I've tried to beg her to move back to Florida a few times, and she's like, absolutely not. She's from Boston. So she wants seasons, and she's like, as far south as I'm going is Georgia, where we lived in Atlanta for about almost 10 years. But we really love it here in Columbia.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed being back. This is where we met at South Carolina. So it's been good to be back. It's been 4 years now.
Nice. How did you meet your wife?
Yeah, we met through a mutual friend here in town. This was my junior year, her sophomore year. We actually met at the Village Idiot. Shout out to to Brian and
Brian
Kelly.
and
Wow.
Kelly, nice.
Yeah, we met at the Village.
Was it
Idiot.
in the back alley? Did you guys make out in the back alley?
No, we
'Cause
dodged.
that's a thing.
We dodged each other or I should say, she dodged me for probably 5 or 6 months. Our mutual friend Molly Hall was trying to connect us. Figured that we would connect well, and she dodged me for a while, and then finally we were in the same bar, and I awkwardly cornered her and I made her talk to me.
Just a big guy. coming
Yeah,
out
there's
here.
no getting away. This guy's a fullback. If I'm getting away from here, I'm really good.
But I found out later she was from Boston, but that night she told me she was from Savannah. And I'm like, what in the world? Why didn't you tell me you were from Boston that night? And she's like, because you were drinking and you had asked me 17,000 questions about Boston, the Red Sox, the Patriots, the Celtics. And I'm like, 100%. We'll get to those later.
The one city that doesn't have any professional sports. She went with that. Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsor, Columbia Family Chiropractic, with 3 easy-to-get-to locations, one in Forest Acres, which is by Trader Joe's, one in O'Neill Court by the DMV, and one in the Northeast by Sand Hills. You'll be sure to have somewhere near you. They offer a ton of services from corrective care, on-site digital x-rays, spinal decompression for bulging or herniated discs, dry needling for injuries, pediatric care, and a Class 4 laser. They accept all your major insurances. And if you mention this ad, you'll get a discount on your first appointment. Check out their website at cfc4health.com or Google Columbia Family Chiropractic. That's cfc4health.com.
So what were family gatherings like? I mean, growing up with that many athletes, were you guys just getting together and like creating competitions?
Always. It was who could swim across the pool the fastest, who could hold their breath the longest, who could make the most free throws in a row, who could throw a football the furthest, home run derbies, foot races.
That's awesome.
It was all of the above. And I was the oldest boy cousin, which was cool.
Yeah.
There's probably 8 girl cousins on that side. And then I have an older sister too. So, I mean, it was really fun. It was a competitive environment. Growing up, having a professional athlete in my family, kind of like
mega athlete, like Chris DiMarco.
I mean, yeah, Ryder Cup.
He was a top 10 in the world at one point, right?
Yeah, when in 2015, I want to say he was the number 5 golfer in the world.
That's wild. I just remember him battling Tiger. Like if he wasn't in the Tiger era, he would have won a U.S. or a Masters,
Masters
a British Open. Didn't he? Was he second or third in a couple?
Yeah, he finished second in the British, finished second in the Masters 2 or 3 times. I mean,
that's unbelievable.
He's finished top 10 in all 4 majors, and then played Ryder Cup.
And he's still playing on the Champions. Yeah.
Yep, still playing, still grinding. His son Christian actually played in his first ever PGA Tour event, which he missed the cut by 1. He bogeyed 17. But still pretty cool for him to get to that level.
Now, is it true that your uncle used to talk shit to Tiger?
Oh my gosh. Chris is the biggest shit talker you've ever met. Like, he should have played football. Really? Like, he should have been like a football player. There's an article, I think that the American Caddy wrote, and he interviewed Chris, and it was Chris at one point was playing with Tiger in the final group at Augusta. I want to say it was 2006, 2005. And Florida was playing somebody, and Tiger went to Stanford, and Chris like chipped the ball over there and said like Stanford sucks or something. And
like wrote it on the ball?
Yeah, and then like chipped it right over into his pile, and Tiger picked it up and pulled out his pen and right there wrote like Florida sucks and pulled it back to him.
Love that.
But it going to and in that same article they were talking about when they made the turn in the final group going to 10. Chris doesn't hit the ball very far. He's like 250, 260 off the tee, and Tiger's a bomber. And through the first 9 holes, Chris like putted second almost every single hole because he was inside of Tiger with his approach shots. And Chris made some smart ass remark of like, "Aren't you tired of putting first? I'm hitting 4-iron. You're hitting pitching wedge in every green. Like, come on, dude."
Right.
Unleash the beast, and I ended up losing the Tiger.
Yeah. I would do the opposite to Tiger, I think. I'd be like pumping him up, like, "Oh, you're playing amazing," because he thrives on.
Oh, he's a menace.
You know.
He's just a complete madman.
And then I guess growing up, when did you know football was the sport? Did you do any other sports growing up, and what was the decision making in that?
Yeah, I mean, I played everything growing up. Started with soccer, t-ball, basketball. Started playing football in 3rd grade. I tried when I kind of figured that football was going to be what it was. I did karate in like first or second grade, and I got kicked out for being too aggressive. And Dad's like, "Football's next year." But yeah, I played everything all the way through my freshman year of high school, and then really started to kind of flourish in football. But I still played all three: football, basketball, baseball. And then after my sophomore year, I started getting recruiting to play football. So I started a more hyper focus there. So I dropped baseball and basketball. I wasn't going to make it to the NBA. There's no chance. But I picked up track and weightlifting. So I supplemented those with different things that were going to help with football long term. So always something. I mean, I think you guys have probably seen, just like me, of the hyper focus of youth athletes of only focusing on one sport at the age of 8, 9. Like, what the hell are we doing, right?
Yep.
Like, these kids need to go out and have fun, try everything, do everything. And I was kind of living proof of that. I did everything at a decently high level, and it translated to other sports.
Yep. Wayne Gretzky talked about that a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
He said he played all kinds of things and is actually an advocate against all year long hockey for 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds.
That is one sport I would have absolutely sucked at. I can't skate. Like, if you give me any skates, or if I have to do something on water, like if I'm on my own feet and there's a ball involved, I'm going to be pretty good at it. If you make me stand on another object, I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah. I feel like there's always a nice respect between hockey players and football players.
Yep.
Like, talking to soccer players or baseball players, I'm like, kind of like soft sports.
Yeah, I got a funny story. One of my good buddies, David Mailman, actually played in the Red Sox system, was drafted out of high school, made it all the way up to AA, and hurt his wrist, and was going through the therapy process, was actually meeting with a doctor, and there's like a squeezy thing that gauges whether you can play or not play. And he was going through his assessment with the guy, and a hockey player barged in. He didn't tell me the name, but this guy barged in, had a game that night, went up, took the little squeezy thing out of David's hand, squeezed it, threw it at the doctor, and said, "I'm freaking good. I'm playing tonight." Like, walked out. Like, typical hockey.
Sounds right.
So then, all right. So then you get recruited a little bit, right?
Yeah.
That was kind of part of your challenge.
Yeah, I was a 2-star. So
Yeah.
I had most of the smaller Florida schools, FAU, FIU, UCF, USF, the smaller schools in Florida. I had some 1AA schools. Actually, Northwestern was my biggest offer.
Oh, no kidding.
Up outside of Chicago. Up until my senior year, and then my senior year I kind of blew up. I had 19 sacks, scored 10 or 12 touchdowns, kind of put myself on the map. I remember my dad used to kind of use it as motivation for me, but my Uncle Chris knows Coach Spurrier. Chris was an All-American at Florida. Obviously, Coach Spurrier was at Florida, so there was a correlation there. I came up here for showcases and camps more, I think, as like a, hey, would you guys mind looking at my nephew, Patrick? And, I mean, I performed well and did okay, but there was always the piece of, well, Coach Spurrier's just offering Chris's nephew as a thank you for him, and Chris will take him to go play golf at all these really cool places. But my dad used that as motivation. He's like, "You see this yet?"
That they're saying that,
like they don't think you're good enough.
Fired up.
Yeah, I mean, I ended up being a 2-star, and I was the first. I was the first player of our recruiting class in 2007 to score a touchdown here at Carolina.
Really?
I actually set the school record back then for games played in during my time. I played in 52 games in 4 years. Wow. It's later been passed, but let's not talk about that.
No wonder guys get giddy when we tell them you're on here.
Now, and I mean, were you actually a scholarship player then?
Yeah.
At USC?
Yeah, I was. I joke around. We were the number 4 recruiting class in the country that year in 2007. Wow. I mean, we had Chris Culliver, we had Brian Maddox, Cliff Matthews, Clifton Gether, Steven Garcia, a bunch of studs, and then I came in as a 2-star. I probably knocked us from 3 to 4. We probably lost a ranking because of me. But we had a good time. We had a really good group. Our recruiting class just really connected in a real deep way. Became great friends very quickly, and that's the whole part of building a team and building a culture. We were Coach Spurrier's second recruiting class, so he's kind of just finally getting boots on the ground, recruiting his guys. And not to mention, I mean, Lou Holtz had a lot of studs in here from before. There was a lot of talent that was on the team right when we came in. So it was a pretty cool experience, an opportunity to come in and lead pretty early because we were some of the newer guys in a pretty highly touted recruiting class.
And I mean, now that you're watching it from with NIL and the things that are happening now, what are you seeing different? Because what we're being told is like there's no such thing as walk-ons anymore. The portals, absolute chaos. It's hard to retain players.
I mean, I would say there would not be a scholarship for Patrick DiMarco in this day and age.
Which is crazy to
you
think
gotta
about.
With the transfer portal, you're only allocating X amount of scholarships to high school kids versus portal kids. You're definitely not recruiting a fullback 2-star. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty wild. It's a wild, wild west. Carolina lost a lot of pretty good players on defense last year, have a lot of bodies, but the beauty of the portal is you can kind of replenish it pretty quick.
Back, yeah.
And a lot of the portal guys that Coach Beamer's recruited and gotten in here have been high performers.
The show must go on.
Our sign didn't like being up, apparently.
Scoot that over. So when they come in too, do they pick up the systems quick? Because that's the other thing. It's one thing to have talent, but then they got to learn the systems here.
Yeah, it's a whole different world. It is much more the NFL model. Like back when I was in college, like it was still pretty like young and naive. Like we were like truly student athletes. Like school came first, and then football was second. Excuse me. But now, like they get in at. They have to be in the office or in the building, office building, same thing at like 7 a.m. and they have to be there until 1 o'clock. And there's time and expectations for them to come back later in the day after school to come start reviewing film and this and that. We didn't have that when I was around. Coach Spurrier was like, hey, come in, do what you're supposed to do, bust your butt for your 3-4 hours that we're supposed to be here, and then get the heck out, go enjoy being a college student, go enjoy your life. Where now the model is a little different, and because of that, I think there's a lot more preparation, a lot more. They're paying these guys, so if they're not kind of playing to the standard or learning the system to a standard, I would imagine that there's some internal repercussions.
Is that built in? I was wondering, is that built into their NIL contracts where they can say, "Here's the hours we need you there. Here's how much studying. Here's how much."
I don't think so. I haven't been involved in those negotiations and contracts and stuff, but I would imagine there are some things that have some guardrails and kind of expectations that need to be set. We're not in a pay-for-play model, which I don't think pay-for-play wouldn't be a terrible thing, right? If you score more touchdowns, you should make more money. Because you got to think, like you're bringing in so just for a perfect example, in the NFL, like if you sign a 4-year, $4 million contract and you get $2 million of it guaranteed, if you retire after 2 years, you have to give half of your guaranteed money back.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, put that into in the college world of a kid comes and commits here. Say we give him a $1 million signing bonus or something like that, and we prorate that over 4 years, so $250 a year, and he transfers after 2 years. Like, he would definitely have to think about his decision to transfer out if he had to give a prorated portion of that back, which I don't know if it's in the works or not. I've heard a lot of things about, does the NCAA need to create a CBA like we had in the NFL Players Association, a collective bargaining agreement to kind of mandate all rules across the board so conferences aren't all jacked up and there's not one mega conference? We'll see how it goes. When you unionize anything, it becomes a little different, a little more stringent, and at that point, like, are football players really going to school anymore? Are they coming here to get an education, or are they coming here just to make money and play football?
Right.
At the end of the day, every football player is going to hang up their cleats, and they're going to have something to fall back on. And that's why kind of the student-athlete structure in college athletics is so important. Go get your degree while you're there. If not, almost every university gives you the opportunity to come back and get your degree when you're done playing.
Yeah.
So that's something that nobody can take away from you.
And I like the idea of you being kind of a spokesperson for someone who had a full career, but now you're doing all kinds of stuff on the on the back end of that too.
Yep.
CTE, I hear about that all the time in the football world. I hear about guys who blow through all their money and then they're in big trouble when they're in their 30s or 40s. Can you speak to that a little bit? Are you seeing people being more aware of that and being more responsible with their money?
Yeah, well, I think with NIL, it has like expedited the growing up process of college athletes. And I think that is going to probably play long-term into NFL careers, because guys are going to be making money at 18 years old, and they're going to have to learn how to budget. They're going to make mistakes at 18, but as long as they keep making money, 19, 20, 21, make it into the NFL, have a decent career, you'll have a little more kind of a footing of financial literacy and all that. When I was 22 and I'd signed my first NFL contract and I got my first NFL paycheck, I was like, what the heck do I do with this?
Right.
Like, what can I buy? What can I do? And thankfully, mom and dad were really good. And they kind of like I hired a financial advisor and had all these conversations, and we made smart decisions, and thank the Lord I was able to play for 10 years and do all that. But yeah, I mean, the growing up process is quick. Like, you got to figure out taxes and budgeting and hiring a financial advisor and hiring an agent and where all these fees going and all this stuff at 18 years old. Like, aren't you supposed to focus on getting a degree, playing high level college football, enjoying the social life, like all these other things? And I mean, yes, it would have been nice to have 50, 100 grand in my pocket when I was in college, but man, that comes with a lot of stressors too.
And do you think that, when you look back on what you purchased, so let's say your first purchase from your big contract, are you glad that you bought the things? What would they be? And are you glad you bought them, or were they silly?
I bought a new Chevy Tahoe, and I had it until probably 4 years ago. So I had it for 7 or 8 years.
Nice.
I mean, I was like sitting there and I'm like, I'm a pretty practical guy. I drive a Suburban now. Like, I didn't go too far away, but just practicality. I knew, like, I was dating Kirsten at the time. We weren't quite married yet. And I was like, we're probably going to eventually need a family car. So a Tahoe is a great family car. And if it's a car that I'll eventually give to you and then I can get something else that I want, like, this will just kind of blend. And I've always tried to think kind of bigger picture instead of big and flashy. This watch is probably the nicest thing I ever bought myself. It's a Breitling, but this came because I bought Kirsten her engagement ring and I saw the watch and I'm like, man, I really like that. And I, kept going back there to make sure the ring was perfect and all this. And I kept staring at it. And like 6 months later, we got our Madden check in the NFL. And I was like, I can go buy that watch now and have no guilt. I wasn't expecting this check. I wasn't expecting this money.
Right.
Kirsten has no idea I'm about to get this money. I can go buy this watch.
That's awesome. Yeah, and then did you end up getting a degree? So you have degrees from USC, right?
Yeah, I got a double marketing and management from the Darla Moore School, and then I got a minor in sport and entertainment management.
Nice. So you were already planning and prepping for once the NFL's done.
Yeah. Well, you know what the NFL stands for, right?
No.
Not for long.
Yeah.
You do not play for a long time. So that's what it's so critical to get your degree. The average lifespan for a guy in the NFL is just under 3 years.
Really?
Pension kicks in at 3 years. NFL's pretty smart. They don't want to pay those checks. So, I mean, getting your degree is crucial. I mean, even I retired at 32, had a 10-year NFL career, and I'm sitting there with, I had 4 kids, made decent money, but I still need to do something in life.
Right.
1, to make money, and 2, to have something to do. So being able to challenge yourself in different worlds, I mean, doing real estate development now, like, it's been a whole new learning curve. I'm learning something every single day I'm in the office, and I'm sure I will for the next 5 years, kind of continuing in this industry. But it's cool to kind of challenge myself in different ways. I did all the physical things I could possibly do playing football. And I learned several playbooks, and I know what my capacity is.
Right.
So as soon as it really starts to click and pick up, then I'm sure real estate will be off and running just like football was.
Right. Nice. What is that pension like? Is it, so once you hit your 3-year mark or you get retired or stop playing in the NFL, you get ongoing cash?
Yeah, so at 3 years, you become vested.
Okay.
And then at 5 years, you become fully vested, and it's just icing on the cake after that. So the way that pension works, it's obviously gotten better with the new CBA and each year kind of tax on, but I think pension is about $800 a month per season that you played.
Nice.
That kicks in at 55. So kind of bridge the gap. Like, I'm 36 right now, so I have 19 years, so I can tap into that.
Yeah.
But the benefits in the NFL are awesome. There's a 2-to-1 match with your 401k. They put money into an annuity, a cap plan. I have an HSA. I mean, all these things that the NFL really sets you up for success down the road, as long as you're not done with your money and run through it. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a huge head start in life, and I realize that, and I'm very blessed to be able to play 10 years and now step into a career that actually provides a cool opportunity to learn and grow and develop too.
Yeah, you're in a bunch of things now. Can you just list off for people what you're doing?
Yeah, so right when I retired, I actually I sat there and I told myself I was going to take a year to figure out what I wanted to do. I didn't want to jump into anything and rush into anything, so I started having casual conversations back in Atlanta in the wealth management industry, commercial insurance, and commercial real estate. Those all have pretty flexible lifestyles, have pretty good earnings potential. and all that. And those industries are big in Atlanta. And Coach Beamer called me right when he got the job at South Carolina. This was, I guess, 2 or 3 months after I retired, and was like, hey, I'd love for you to come back here. I got this job. I'd love for you to come coach here at South Carolina and dip your feet into the coaching world and see what you like. And I was like, no, heck no. I know what a coach's life is. Like, you guys are crazy. You work forever.
Right.
So I put him off for probably 2 months. And then my wife, who's much smarter than me, was like, you're an idiot. Like, you're fresh out of football. Why don't you try it? If you say you go into commercial insurance and you work it for 5 years and you hate it, you're always going to wonder what if you would have gotten into coaching. So I tried it. I came here. I worked at the university for about 2 years. Loved parts of it. Didn't like parts of it. Had 4 young kids. That was the main reason why I got out of coaching. Just wanted to be present with my kids and a little more involved. So that was kind of what teed up the transition into real estate development. And I'm working with Cason Development. We do real estate development local here, infill stuff here in Columbia, and then kind of national retail stuff throughout the state. So like I said, still learning a bunch, still a baby in this industry. I feel like a rookie every single day when I walk into the office. But eventually I'll get my street cred and become a vet, right? At 3 years, you become a vet.
And you're also hosting Columbia's second hottest podcast.
Yes, I know. We're trying. Like, we keep trying. We keep trying to uptick you guys. Like, what's the magic?
It's hot in here.
Yes, Steven and I started Tailgate Talks last year. It's been something that I've thought about for probably the last 3 years. Like, right when I started at South Carolina, I was like, there's most other universities have a former player run podcast. They create content, highlight current players, former players, kind of tie it all in. In the NIL world, like that's a pretty big opportunity for current players to come on and tell their story, who you are, who are you with the helmet not on, because most people don't get to know you in that regard. So that was kind of the basis of how we started it. And obviously, when I brought it to Steven, hey, would you be interested in doing a podcast like this with me? And he's like, yeah, can we drink? Like, yep, I guess we can. Let's name it Tailgate Talks. I mean, we had a blast in college. We had a wild time. For anybody that's listened to our podcast, you've kind of heard some of the stories. And yeah, Steven's a madman. And I kept him out of trouble for the most part. I didn't do a good enough job, but I tried my hardest. But yeah, that's been fun. We're coming up on season 2, starting that. And then I'm trying to get involved in community stuff here in Columbia too. I'm serving on a few boards. I'll be the president of the Letterman's Association next year. Just joined the Palmetto Baseball League, which is my son's Little League Baseball league. I just joined that board. I've been coaching up there for the last 3 or 4 years. Have a cool, exciting thing that's going to be coming up here in a couple months. Me and a business partner are looking to start up a couple gyms here in Columbia, which hopefully we'll get on here again and talk in more detail about all that. But that's all exciting stuff. And yeah, a lot's going on. I'm chasing around 4 kids. We have 9, 7, 4, and 3. For those listening that don't have kids, don't make them 12 months and 2 weeks apart from each other.
Yeah.
The 2 youngest, that's a bad idea.
2 sets of diapers. 2 car seats, 2 double strollers.
Yep. I think we have a total of 12 car seats between ones that have gone and come and boosters and like above our garage, we have basically like an attic of just car seats.
It's so terrifying. I told my wife minimum of 3 years between each one, because then you can use the things that you were using before into the next one. You kind of get to see the different stages.
Well, what I did, and this was, I pat myself on the back because I was smart. Like, so I had an NFL or I had a Nike deal when I was in the NFL. They give you an allotment of money to buy stuff through Nike, and like I had enough pair of Jordans, I had enough Nike stuff, and I'm like, babe, we're gonna start having kids soon, right? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm gonna start buying kid stuff for Nike. So we stocked up on stuff all the way up and through 7 years old. So
that's great.
My oldest son is gone, doesn't have any more Nike stuff. Now we have to buy him fresh stuff, but we're still reusing the stuff he had as for our youngest 3-year-old. So just, stashed a bunch of stuff. So Wade has some pretty sick Jordans, I'll say that.
That's cool.
You were just always looking so far down the road at all times, right? Like you're buying a Tahoe thinking it's a family car when you're not even married yet.
I'm just really cheap, and I like to plan ahead.
Now, right out of the gates, were you roommates with Garcia?
Yep.
Like, that was your first roommate?
Yeah. So, I mean, there was like a connection. He's from Tampa. I'm from Orlando.
Yep.
Although we didn't know each other in high school, he came here in December. I didn't commit here until December because they didn't offer me until November. But he got here early. He got in trouble twice. And Coach Spurrier and Jamie Spironis both knew me, knew my family, kind of knew what I was about. And they're like, we got the perfect roommate for you.
Got to balance.
You got to keep this dude in line. And we got up here my freshman year. We got dropped off at, we started at Bates House for the summer, and then we moved into East Quad. But we got to Bates House, and Steven had a lot of posters with a lot of naked girls on them. When me and my mom walked, he was already in the apartment, and we walk in there, and my mom walks in, and she's like, oh my God. And there's empty bottle of booze all in the kitchen. And I remember she kissed me on the head when she left, and she goes, please don't get in too much trouble. But another story, he reached out to me. This was, I guess, 2 months before I got there, and he's like, hey, dude, just want to let you know I just got a new 55-inch TV, like, got the PlayStation.
Yeah.
We got the setup for when you come up here. 2 weeks later, he texted me, hey, dude, my bad, I put a golf club through the TV already. So, yeah, that's what.
That is great.
We had some cool experiences.
Now, so nowadays, what's he like? Is he still very similar to when he was in college, or is he?
He has not changed.
He has changed.
Like, I think the most, what I envy of Steven the most is how he doesn't care what other people think about him.
Yeah.
Like, he is going to be him and genuinely him to his core. And if you don't like it, he could give two shits. And that's the beauty of him. And that's like why everybody, I think, loves him so much, because he is who he is, and he's not going to change for anybody. And like, that was, but come Saturday, like really on the practice field, and come Saturday, like he was a absolute warrior on the field. Dude would try to run through people's faces and would kind of jump on people and get after people. He was very competitive. But off the field, you had to kind of keep him in control. I think probably the best thing I did here during my time, there was not one weekend that I was in town when Steve and I were roommates where he got arrested. Not one.
Nice.
I left 3 weekends. He got arrested those 3 weekends.
That's incredible.
That's such a good combo. Like, you're buying TVs thinking about how it's going to look in your third home with kids, and he's just smashing them and getting new ones.
For my 21st birthday, my parents asked me what I wanted, and I said, can I get a bedroom? And when we moved to Columbia, South Carolina, me and my wife got rid of that.
That's
so
incredible. That's never even crossed my mind.
Not in college, that's for sure.
So, like, I guess describe some of those. Like, what was a good time for you guys in college? Give us some Garcia, DiMarco debauchery.
Ooh, we had a good one. We had several good ones, but one did just like roommates, competitive athletes, like just alphas going at each other. We went to a party, we knew nobody, so we left the party, but it was still like a good, fun vibe.
Yeah.
And we just went and got an 18 pack of beer, put it on the table, and said, hey, we're doing me v you, chug off of this 18 pack. Let's see who wins best of 9.
Holy smokes.
And we just ripped 9 beers in a row. I think I beat him 5-4 in the overall challenge. But we got after it. But I mean, we lived in Olympia Mills, so we obviously had the pool right there. We had some pool parties. We played a lot of volleyball, a lot of booze volleyball. We were bottom floor Olympia Mills.
Yeah.
If you guys have ever been there, there's we had our own patio. There's like a wood little crest right in front of the handicap parking. That was our after party. That was our front porch. So we would open up the windows,
awesome.
move the keg out there, and keep the party going at 3-4 in the morning. We had a good time. I mean, Village Idiot was kind of the athlete bar hangout at that point. And Brian and Kelly were great to us and treated us well and hooked us up. And it was great. They're still dear friends now. But yeah, we had a lot of fun. A lot of pool, a lot of beer. Steven was a big beer guy. He wasn't much of a liquor guy back then, which with as much trouble as you got in, you must have been like, well, this guy must drink a lot of
Hammering
liquor.
beers, yeah.
But he just strictly beer. He
Holy
just did it for him.
cow.
But yeah, our pre-games, we were kind of boring pre-game. If it wasn't like a big party, we would play Call of Duty. So we had 4 PlayStations scattered across the apartment. Seth Strickland was one of our roommates. And then me, Steven, then we had an extra PlayStation in the living room. Mm-hmm. And we would all play together on the same team. So like we'd be drinking beer in our own rooms, playing Call of Duty, talking shit to each other like, hey, what was your kill to death rate? And all these different things.
It's fun. College is just fun too. When you have your buddies, you don't really realize, you know that it's going to end at some point, but there's, in the moment, you're like, oh, this could just last forever.
Yeah, I mean, there were several times where Steven wanted to party and I didn't want to party, and we squared up toe to toe and got a little confrontational because I had an exam coming, and he's like, I'm Steven. I don't care what you think. I'm going to do what I want to do. And I'm like, well, I got to be up at 8 tomorrow, and I'm not dealing with you partying until 2 in the morning. Right. Little brotherly love, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, it was all fun and games. We always gave big hugs afterwards. Yeah, we definitely, the competitive nature of us got to us at times too.
Oh yeah. What was it like? So after a win, did you guys was it just go to Village Idiot, or was there any sort of routine that the team got together?
Yeah, I mean, we all eventually would end up at Village Idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, if we were playing like a South Carolina State or a Furman, and we knew we were like, we would start talking in the second quarter, like, all right, what's the plan? Like, what's the plan after this game? One of our buddies, Stephen Flint, his parents had a condo at Stadium Village Lost right behind. So game would end, we'd usually go over to the condo, hang out, drink a couple beers, watch some football, kind of let the traffic die down, and then we'd kind of disperse from there. But we'd always end up at Village Idiot, and usually somebody's house for an after party.
Yeah.
Parties didn't end in college till probably 4.
Yeah.
And it's way too late at this point in time.
Yeah. Were there any big fights or anything? Like, I always think with that much energy that there'd be some aggression that'd still be letting loose at 2 in the morning.
Yeah, there were some, and there were a lot of fraternity guys that like wanted to bow up to the football players at times.
Not the smartest idea.
No, and I was generally like the voice of reason. Like if I was out, I was just trying to have a good time. I didn't want to like ruin my night with somebody trying to be a dick. But yeah, I mean there were some, nothing too barbaric and disgusting. Right. Usually when there was a confrontation and like as a team, you all flock together and you're like, "What's up?" And they're like, "Nothing," and they would back away pretty quickly. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's the cool part of the team is having, I mean, and that's why I think we were so successful during that time is because like we all hung out together, whether you played quarterback, defensive line, offensive line, you were a kicker, like, and Steven was kind of the glue to our team at that point. Like he was the one initiating everything and getting everybody together. Like you wanted to die for the guy next to you, whether it was on the field, off the field, like it just was that tight kind of a brotherhood.
That's great.
And that was like, that's what a team takes. And I think that's why we were so successful back then.
That's it. Yeah. And do you remember when guys and girls started throwing themselves at you?
No.
Was there a point where you were like, all right, I'm too many people know me, and I just took my I'm leaving my shirt on from now on because it's too much.
Well, the beauty of like being, I mean, I'm a bigger dude, but I'm not like an offensive lineman big. I guess I could like kind of blend in, and also the beauty of football is you wear a helmet,
right?
So like you can go places and not be realized or recognized. Steven opposite. Steven in college had long hair.
He's on the news a lot too.
Wore a Spartan helmet at times, and like there was one night where he came down the stairs. He was absolutely, or we had a pregame and he got absolutely hammered, and I'm like, dude, low key night tonight. You're gonna get in trouble. Like. Let's not stand out like a sore thumb. He's like, I got you, dude. He went upstairs, put on a sombrero and a Vince Carter jersey and walked down. He's like, how is this?
How's this look?
Like, my God, you can't help yourself.
That's great. Were you guys like, was the football team close with any other athletes, like the cheerleaders or swim team or any of that?
We so E Squad was the athlete dorm, so it was a blend. It was co-ed, so it was all
nice.
It was both. It was multiple sports, which was nice. Which kind of like put us all together. And then you also have training table where we used to eat. And study hall was all kind of together, so you got to know a lot of different athletes, we did a lot with the baseball guys. We partied a little bit with the soccer girls on the front side of things. And it was really cool to watch kind of the teams develop and kind of everybody grow into who they are and how their teams and their leadership styles and their leadership skills and all that socially kind of over those 4 years. It was pretty cool.
Who would you say the most successful athlete, like while you were at college, that you got to interact with, became professionally?
Ooh. Like Melvin Ingram, he made like a couple $100 million.
That would work.
I mean, outside of like professional sports, like Mike Roth has done a really good job. He played 4 or 5 years in the bigs, and he's kind of speared it into real estate development up in Greenville. He's done really well. My buddy Walker in Abnett lives here in Columbia. He's a wealth management advisor with Merrill Lynch. There's several attorneys here in town, and I mean, it's the reason why a lot of employers want to hire athletes, because your work ethic, your determination, your discipline, your time management, all those things. So guys that I played with have transitioned and had pretty strong careers outside of playing sports.
Yeah, nice. What was back when you're in the grind? What were some of the workouts like then? What was the recovery like? What were the things you were doing for your body to keep it high and tight?
Yeah, the workouts were brutal. I mean, summer workouts here in Columbia, South Carolina, it's not fun. Thankfully, we would run early in the morning. We'd run at 5 or 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And I mean, I remember them vividly. Monday was hundreds. We'd start off with 1600s, and we'd go up 2 every week. We'd get up to 30. And then you'd come back and work out later. And we usually Monday was usually a lower body workout, and then Tuesdays was mat drills. So we'd go to the indoor bubble, and we would do like 10 stations of mat drills, speed, agility, sandbags, picking stuff up, throwing stuff around, and then we'd finish with half gassers. Usually work up to like almost 20 half gassers. Wednesday was off day. Thursday was mat drills again, followed by the half gassers, and then Friday was 50s with in increments of 10, and every quarter you did up downs.
I love that you remember
like 2
all
to 3
of this.
minutes. Scarred. That was my first 2 years, and then my next 2 years was Craig Fitzgerald, where's he at now? He was at Florida. He was at Houston Texans. He was with the Giants.
Yeah.
He's been around the block, but he's a stud. But our big thing there was dominators. We did 5, 10, 15, like kind of 5 back, 10 back, 15 back. You had to do 25 of them was a conditioning test. And you had a certain time to do it, certain time to rest.
Yeah.
They used to dominate us. There were guys throwing up, and if you missed a rep, or if you missed a line, or if you didn't, your punishment was to go do more dominators in the sand pit. So it was pretty grueling, but it gets you ready. Like, what's the phrase? The more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. So the harder you work in the off season, the more grind you put in, the harder you push yourself, the easier Saturdays are going to be, or Sundays are going to be in the NFL.
That's great.
And we had a great group of strength coaches to kind of guide us that way.
Nice. I've seen a little bit of a shift too toward the recovery side of it.
It's huge.
One of our friends, Tara Zigden, she has Sculpt Pilates, and she is doing all kinds of stuff with the football guys and saying they're the strongest guys ever, and then you put them in a Pilates move, and their legs are shaking.
Minor muscles, and me and my wife actually went through a phase when I was in Atlanta. My last 3 years there, our Tuesday was our off day, so we would do date night. I'm so boring. Why am I even admitting this? We would go do Pilates and go to a movie.
And then Bed Bath & Beyond.
On Monday night. How boring is that? Like, Tuesday's off day. Let's go do Pilates on Monday night and go to a movie.
So you take her to Pilates first, but then she'd have to go home and dress, or would she you would just go out and you're
slum it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's so good.
That is funny.
Were you guys doing anything unique back? I mean, ice baths. Was there saunas? Was there red light bed?
Yeah.
Was there?
Yeah, there was all. I mean, the technology's gotten a lot better over the last 10 years. In college, it was mainly like we had cold tub, hot tub. We did contrast. There were some. I think there were some smaller laser machines back in the late 2000s. But as you get to the NFL, all the instruments and all the equipment just got kind of magnified. Yeah, I mean, we had a hyperbaric. Like when I was in Buffalo, we had a hyperbaric chamber.
Those are great.
We had all the balance equipment. We had red light therapy. We had a cryo chamber.
Yeah.
We had MAT specialists come in twice a week. We had a chiropractor come in 3 days a week. We had a masseuse come in 3 days a week. We had
awesome.
cupping, Graston, dry needling, like kind of all the stuff that you guys do.
We do a lot of that stuff. Yeah.
All the stuff that you guys do. I used to get treated so much, and now I'm just a boring dad of 4 who's falling apart. I need to see you guys more.
You know what I was thinking when I was driving here? I was, man, I'd love to see an X-ray of your back.
My back and neck are not good.
Right. I can't. I mean, that's what I think. I think about like we see like truck drivers and people that play like high school football, and some of their spines and like for 10 years in the league would be wild to see.
The injury that ended up kind of ending my NFL career is I had a lot of stingers, so a lot of nerve damage on my right side and left side. I probably had 50 or 60 throughout my career. And I had one that I lost feeling in my right arm for almost 8 weeks.
Whoa.
So I was doing everything lefty, and my neck, they were worried about my neck moving, so I was in a neck brace. But almost every single, like playing fullback in the NFL during training camp, there was like 2 spurts every single training camp where like I would get a zinger or something, and like teammates would screw with me because it happened every single year.
Yeah.
Like, and they'd know I'd feel stiff, and they're like, "Hey, Pat," and I'm like, "What?" They're like, "Nothing. Just wanted to watch you turn." And I'm like, "Thanks." So I do not miss that.
I can't imagine. Yeah, after having one stinger, just were you ever nervous going into hits, or you were just like, well, this is a part of the deal. It's gonna happen.
It's my job, right, to go in and go after people and try to light them up. So it was mind over matter. My big rule was, I had a couple documented concussions, but I had a lot of like kind of whoa moments. Like, am I okay? Am I not okay? My rule was if I ever got back to the huddle and I understood the play that the quarterback was saying, I'm good.
You're good to go.
And I remember one time we were playing in London. I caught a flat route, kind of like went to turn up field, and a linebacker just clocked me head to the back, like kind of whiplash. And I was like, whoa. I don't know where I am now, but I'm going to run back to the huddle and let me see if I can understand what the quarterback's saying. And he said it, and I was like, no idea. And I was like, one more time. And he said it, and it clicked. I'm like, I'm good.
Oh, man.
Are there any hits that you just remember where you laid somebody out, like as a fullback, just coming around the end and just murdered somebody?
Yeah, there was actually a guy that I played high school football against. I went to Lake Brantley High School in Altamont Springs. He went to Apopka. His name was Kyle Wilbur. Went to Wake Forest. He was an outside linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys, and we played Dallas like week 2 or week 3 in 2015, and we did a toss out left on the goal line. And he's sitting there, and it's me and him, and the running back's right behind me, and I just like same foot, same shoulder, and just like plowed right through him.
That's gotta feel good.
I'm not much like, I kind of like let my actions speak for me, but I got up and I started clapping in his face and talking junk. I got another, I got Luke Kuechly several times.
Did you?
And not many people got Luke, because Luke is an absolute stud.
Yeah.
I caught him. We ran like an outside zone play, and it was called 19 force. And I'm looking alley. If alley's clean, I peek back inside for a backer scraping over the top, and he did not see me. And I
that would feel good.
Completely demolished him. And he grabbed, I played in Atlanta, he played in Carolina, so we played him twice a year. So we became friendly, and he grabbed me after the game and wanted to choke slam me and kill me. He's like, I got to watch that shit on tape for the next couple weeks. They're not going to let me hear the end of it.
Oh, God.
So, it was fun. The physicality piece, obviously playing fullback.
Right.
Don't ever shy away from contact. But my body pays for it now. I'm arthritic head to toe.
Yeah. Were there any things I always wondered this. We listen to some of the mic'd ups and things like that. They're cool, but I'd love a mic'd up everybody the whole game and you could kind of choose. Were there any things in huddle or that the defense is screaming or things that just you remember being like, holy cow, I can't believe this guy's saying this?
Yeah, there was there was a good one with, forget his name. He was an outside linebacker for the Jets, Calvin Pace. He was a first rounder. He was year 10 or 11. This was my 3rd year in the NFL. It was Monday Night Football. We ran power, and I went and blocked him, and I kicked him out. I had a pretty good block, kind of ran him out of the hole. And I despise, you put so much into the 5-second play that the 5 seconds after the play of pushing and shoving and just chatter and grabbing each other and pushing it. I'm dude, let me get back to the huddle so I can breathe before the next play. Don't make me exhausted on you. and he like tried to push me over like a pile or something, and I got up and I started barking at him, and I'm a terrible shit talker. I'm like, you suck. But he comes back at me and he goes, white boy, I'm going to make you look so bad. You're going to be selling insurance next week. And I looked at him and I'm like, why insurance? Like,
and that's actually part of my 5-year plan.
How did you know that?
One, what did I do to you? But like, why do you want me to go sell insurance? And he goes, you white and you look kind of smart, so you'd probably be good at insurance.
That's so good. Yeah, I mean, that's what I feel like that would be such good TV to just be able to tune in on whoever you want and like even like go back in a play and be able to be like, all right, what did he just say to him?
Luke Kuechly was also a terrible crap talker.
Really?
He just told everybody they sucked.
Yeah.
And everybody's response was like, everybody sucks compared to you, Luke. Like, you're the best. Like, yes, we all suck. You're the best.
Yep.
Do you remember your first big hit that got you hooked on it?
Yeah, it was actually, so my rookie year, I broke my foot third day of training camp. It was lockout year. I was an undrafted free agent out to San Diego. So first year was a wash. And then second year, I signed out to Kansas City kind of during training camp. And my very first NFL game was week 11. I think I was P squad the first 10 weeks, and then I got activated the last 6. And the very first game, we were actually playing the Carolina Panthers. And we kickoff return, and I was one of the off returners, and I came up and I was blocking the L3, and I just came and just banged him, knocked him on his butt, and I was like, okay, like it's the same game I've been playing since I was in 3rd grade. Just these guys are a lot bigger, scarier, faster, stronger,
right?
All that, and then I also had another kind of same thing, a wide zone action play, and the linebacker was scraping over the top, and I hit him pretty good. I actually got the nickname Patty Pancakes after that game. My very first game, they cut me like the next year, and I'm like, dang, I thought I was Patty Pancakes. I thought this was permanent.
Patty Pancakes is great. All right, so during all, like, and I guess this is a testament to you because you went from San Diego to Kansas to Atlanta to Buffalo. Mm-hmm. What did you learn about yourself? And because you had to be, was it cut every time? Were any of those your decision? I guess.
Yeah, the decision was mine to sign in Buffalo.
Okay,
so I was finally an unrestricted free agent. So yeah, I was cut in San Diego. I was cut in Kansas City twice, and then I was cut once in Atlanta. So I was cut 4 times before my career really got rampant.
Right.
So. Yeah, San Diego, Kansas City, Atlanta. Was P squad 2 weeks in Atlanta before I got activated, and then I kind of played from then on out. After my second year in Atlanta, I was a restricted free agent, so they could tender me or this or that. So they offered me a 2-year contract. They offered me a 1-year contract, and I was like, I've been such a bubble roster guy. I'd love to have a 2-year deal and a little bit of guaranteed money. My agent was like, no, you're primed for a good year. Take the 1-year deal. I made All-Pro, Pro Bowl, everything in that 1 year. So I had to play another year on that same deal. And then in 2016, we played in the Super Bowl, had a really successful year again there. And that's when I signed in Atlanta. I was an unrestricted free agent. So really, after year 6 was my first real opportunity to make some decent cash. So I signed up in Buffalo. And at the time, I was like, man, I'm from Florida, played my college ball at South Carolina, been in Georgia, and it's been 72 and sunny every home game in the Dome.
Right.
Going up to Buffalo does not sound that appealing to me, but money talks. So I went up there and I signed a 4-year deal in Atlanta, up in Buffalo, and so grateful I did. I met a lot of really good friends. That's a great organization. Sean McDermott is the head coach there, Brandon Bean the GM. Those were still dear friends of mine, and kind of like just learned a whole new kind of like a culture up in the Northeast. Like Buffalo's a very small town. We lived in Hamburg, Orchard Park's where the stadium's at. My son Weston is the biggest Bills fan in Columbia, South Carolina. We go up every year.
They have great fans.
Oh, they're nuts.
Bills Mafia.
Steven Garcia would fit right in.
That's what it is. He's got to be a Bills fan, I feel like.
I don't know if I want to bring him up there for a game because he might get in trouble
Jumping
again.
through tables.
Yeah.
The table thing is wild.
Yeah.
Was that a thing when you were there?
It was. We made the playoffs my first year there. They hadn't made the playoffs in 17 years. My first year there, Coach McDermott's first year there as well as head coach. We made the playoffs, played a playoff game in Jacksonville, and they actually, in Duval County, they banned folding table sales. that week. So people were driving across the border into Georgia,
No
buying
way.
tables and bringing them down.
That's funny. That's great. So you got an NFC championship ring, though. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
Do
second place rings are great.
Do you hate? That's what I was gonna say. Do you hate talking about that Super Bowl? I would imagine. Is that like hard for you, or is that something that you've gotten peace with?
I mean, it is what it is, right? There's still a huge void. We were up 28-3
or something.
Yeah.
It's like Tom Brady's.
Do
like,
you know what they did too? They put 283 diamonds.
Did they?
But I mean, the whole experience of playing in a Super Bowl, like I'm a ginormous sports fan, and like always will be. So kind of just that experience in and of itself, like doing Super Bowl media day. The game was in Houston. It was at NRG. We did media day was at the Houston Astros baseball facility. So we're on the field, and there's probably 10,000 reporters on the field, and you're just like free reigns of like. I mean, there's everybody. There's Nickelodeon. There's ESPN. There's
Columbia's hottest podcast
would have been there if it was around back then. But there's like it was such a cool opportunity, and then obviously the Super Bowl in and of itself, like. I actually lost money playing in the Super Bowl.
Did you?
So I want to say Super Bowl check was $56,000. You get to play in the Super Bowl. If you win, it's double. So you'd get 112.
yeah.
We lost, and I was like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So any family member that wants to come, as long as I've seen you in the last 5 years, like I'm paying for your ticket, I'll pay for your flight, I'll pay for your hotel, whatever it is.
That's
like
awesome.
Just be there and experience it with me. So it cost me $4,000 to play in this.
Wow. 60 grand. That's great. What was your wife like during all these moves and all these different places? Like, how did that go?
Yeah, I mean, she's a trooper. She she knew absolutely nothing about sports.
Really?
She thought when we met, we dated for probably 6 months before she realized I was actually good at football. She thought I was just like a walk-on, like a GPA booster is what she called me.
This is a fun little thing he does.
I mean, I was on the catalog my junior and senior year, and she like called me and she's like, hey, like Diana is one of her friends. Diana's dad just like texted her and said that like he got the pamphlet and you're on it. Like, why would they put you on the pamphlet? And I'm like, babe, I'm actually pretty good. I've been a captain the last 2 years. She's like, wow, no idea. I ought to start going to the games.
That's great.
But I want to say it was my second year in Atlanta, so fourth year in the NFL. Played a game in Atlanta. We're back at the house. And she's sitting in the kitchen, and she's like just kind of giddy, happy, and like overly smiley. And I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, I get it. I'm like, what do you mean you get it? She's like, I understand football now. It starts 1st and 10. If you gain 2 yards, it's 2nd and 8. If you lose 3, it's 3rd and 11. And then if you don't get the first down, you punt the ball to the other team. I was like, babe, you have watched so many football games. Why wouldn't you just ask me?
Yes.
She's like, I needed to figure it out myself.
That's great.
Dude, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's nice that she liked you for you and not. I remember my wife, the same thing. She watched me playing hockey at our Palmer College, and years in, probably 6 years later, she's like, I mean, everybody just slaps the puck around. Nobody knows where it's going. I'm like, wait, you think that nobody knows where the puck is going when they shoot it? Yeah, she just thought it was just an accident where people just slap it around. And then as she started to learn it, I remember her being like, oh, this is really fun.
This
I
is
like
a cool
this.
game. Like, she loves watching football now that she gets it. Like, she'll sit on the patio and watch games with me now.
That's cool. Yep.
I got a couple more here. So your jersey numbers, any rhyme or reason to why you chose them?
Yeah, so I wore 42 in high school, and then I got here to college, and I wanted to wear 42. I lost a battle because we had a guy named Travian Robinson, who's currently on the staff. He was a defensive lineman. He had 4 stars. I had 2.
Yeah.
He got to pick his number. I didn't. So I took 47, which was Chris Cooley. You remember him from the Redskins or Commanders, let's say. And then when I got back to the NFL, my first 2 stops, I was just like, just give me a jersey, whatever. You got. Like, I just want to let me prove my way. And then when I got to Atlanta, they let me pick, and I picked 42. And 42, ironically, was based on. Do you guys remember the name Javon Curse?
Yeah.
Does that name ring a bell? He was about 6'8", 290. His nickname was the Freak.
Holy smokes!
I
that's
thought
huge.
I was Javon Curse. I was far from Javon Curse. 6'1", 220, chubby white guy. the little
You embodied
freak.
him, his spirit. Nice. And then Spurrier. I feel like there has to be some wild stories with Coach Spurrier.
Yeah, he just has no filter, and it's like that's the most beautiful thing, and most like that's the best part about him is like he's gonna say first thing that pops in his mind.
Yeah.
I remember we were sitting in a meeting, and Steven threw an interception, and like coach had 3 rules, and it was like every year we went over these 3 rules. Rule 1 was don't drink the dark stuff. Beer and vodka are fine. Don't drink bourbon. Don't drink whiskey.
Really? Okay, that's good coaching.
2 was don't hit women.
That's a good
I love that as a rule.
Pretty standard.
Men are okay.
Yeah.
Women do not hit.
And 3 was shit, damn, and hell are okay, but all the other cuss words are off the table.
Really?
Yep. And we were sitting in a meeting, and Steven threw a pick, and can I say a cuss word?
Oh, yeah.
He screams, "Fuck, Steven, what are you thinking? God, man, what are you doing? God damn it." And like the whole room goes like dead quiet, and they're like, and somebody was like, "You broke one of the rules." and he pushes back and he goes, "No, I didn't. I said fuck. That was FOCK. I didn't use the U."
That's good.
I mean, between that and we had a couple guys that were supposed to be GPA boosters that didn't hold up their weight my last year. And Coach Spurrier put a slide together and showed everybody's GPA and basically told these guys, like, we have you here for one reason, and that's to raise this number up, and you are bringing the number down. Like, he's like, we spend a lot of money for you for food, equipment, trainers, Gatorade, all that stuff. He's like, you know how much those pads cost that lay on the floor out there? They're like $70. Like, that's a lot better value to you than bringing down the team GPA.
That's great.
I mean, he just said what he said. I mean, he made the remark while we were here about wanting to play Georgia week 2 every year.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't want to move Georgia back in our schedule. They always have 4 or 5 guys suspended the first few games of the year. They always have guys in trouble. They're still dealing with the speeding ticket stuff now. So he was just so quick-witted.
That's cool.
And I mean, an incredible coach. Like, he could draw up some ball plays on offense. I guess this is a cool story. We played Arkansas at Arkansas when they had Felix Jones, Darren McFadden, and Peyton Hillis, and they ran for like 600 yards against us. We lost like 50-something to 40-something. I mean, our offense played really well, but we couldn't stop a soul on defense. And Coach, the Monday meeting afterwards, he was like, all right, guys, I'm gonna spend time with the defense this week. So the entire week, he spent time in the defensive meeting rooms and all the installs and all this stuff. And we played like a cupcake team that week and won pretty big. And he got back the following Monday. He goes, thank God, that was the most miserable week being in the defensive room for that entire week. I'm so glad to be back with you guys. But Coach came to my wedding.
That's cool.
I left the pool and was coming up to go start getting ready, and he had just checked in at the hotel. And in typical Coach Spurrier fashion, he goes, DiMarco, it ain't too late if you don't want to do it. You know, I can take you out of here right now. But
sure, your wife appreciates that.
But he was great. I mean, he wore. I think I taught a guy. I learned my cheap ways from him.
Yeah.
He wore an Outback Bowl suit to my wedding with a Chick-fil-A bowl shirt underneath. These were bowl gifts that we got. We got married at the Ritz-Carlton.
That's hilarious.
At Lake Oconee.
Oh, man.
But he took pictures with everybody. He was great at the wedding. And he actually called me last week. So we still keep in touch a pretty good bit.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Do you remember what your numbers were, like bench, deadlift, squats? What were your? Well, let's hear some of these beast mode numbies.
Highest bench was 395.
Wow.
Highest squat I think was 640 or 650. I power clean 365. Deadlift. I want to say my deadlift was in the 6s somewhere. Yeah, I mean, I still like to get after it too. Like I'm just so. Like, I'm so stubborn. Obviously, like the fullback mentality is like, I'm not.
Yeah.
I mean, that bar might not be moving real fast, but I can promise you it's going to get up. Like, don't touch it. Like, I work out with some guys here in town, and they'll go to spot me, and they'll like go to put their hands under it, and I'm like, don't touch it. And they're like, you're a psycho. Who wants to put themselves through that kind of pain?
The bar is like laying on your chest,
like,
benching.
don't
The sideways
touch
are like, don't do
good.
anything.
And then the fullback position, I feel like it's kind of gone.
Yeah, it's definitely dying.
What are your thoughts on that? Like,
this was a big thing at that Super Bowl media day that always came about. I mean, I feel like every time I did an interview, they were talking about how the fullback's a dinosaur and it's a dying breed. And I did some research and I was ready for those questions. And going into that year in 2016, of the 12 teams that made the playoff that year, 10 of them carried a fullback. Oh. And there were only 16 fullbacks on NFL rosters. So half the team had rosters, but 10 of them made the playoffs. Rhyme or reason, you got to win in 4-minute offense. You got to win in short yardage. You got to win on the goal line.
Right.
And your fullback better be able to play special teams. I was a 3 to 4 phase special teamer every single year I was in the NFL.
Oh wow.
So kind of being versatile and not to mention like if you play fullback, you also need to be able to fill in at tight end. If a couple tight ends go down, like we played Dallas at Dallas. I guess this was in 2015 again when I hit my buddy Kyle Wilbur. We had 2 tight ends get knocked out with a concussion. We only had 3 on the roster. So I had to be the second tight end, and he rolled an ankle at one point, so I started at tight end for a quarter and a half during that game. And that was all like, you always prep for the worst. Yeah. And that was like just – and we met with the OC came down and was like, hey, like what plays do you know of the offense at Y? And I'm like, I know just about everything. Like if this opportunity were to arise, I didn't want us ever to be caught shorthanded. So – I prepped, and I think that's the reason why I hung on for so long in the NFL. It's like wasn't necessarily like I ran 4.8. I was pretty strong. I wasn't the biggest fullback in the world, but I prepared mentally, physically, and I did everything I needed to do to put myself in a situation to win.
Nice. NFL alumni stuff nowadays, like what does that look like? How often are you guys getting together? What is?
Yeah, so we actually just formed our South Carolina chapter. We had been trying to do it for the last 3 to 4 years. We needed 25 guys to show up to one meeting to officially get deemed a chapter, and that happened last January.
Nice.
And I actually got asked to take on the president role of that.
Oh, no kidding.
And my wife's like, why do you keep
another thing
for stuff? I actually dropped it after 1 year. I was like, hey, I got it off the ground. I got it running now. Woody Dantzler from Clemson's running it.
Yeah.
We text quite often. I try to help him with stuff. But we get together once a quarter. And it's an event that's paid for by the NFL Players Association.
Sweet.
So they'll fund it all. They'll give us a little stipend amount. So we'll go to Topgolf or we'll go bowling or we'll throw axes or something like
Sweet.
that. Just to keep it light and fun. There aren't that many former professional football players around, so it's good to be around people that had the same experiences, whether you played 1 year, 2 year, 10 years, 12 years, like you still had the same struggles. And then also like the whole reason why I got involved with the NFL Players Association was to learn the kind of all the benefits and stuff that are involved. And a lot of guys aren't well versed in that. So I try to like really teach guys what benefits are out there that they're not taking advantage of. Like in Charlotte, for every NFL team, every NFL city, there's a hospital that's deemed. And if you're an NFL player that can get access to that hospital, you have like $25,000 a year.
Oh,
that is in the hospital just waiting for you to use. So you can do all your
MRIs
primary healthcare stuff, and you can do everything at those places. So I've tried to kind of teach that to guys that are local to. I mean, Charlotte's only an hour and 15 minutes. So when I'm done with my 5 years of NFL insurance that they give you after you're done, I'm going to be driving up to Charlotte to get all my stuff done.
Right.
I'm already planning ahead.
No brainer.
Exactly. And then in your phone right now, who's the coolest celebrity or person or contact outside of Randy and I, obviously, that you could get a hold of?
Hottest podcast in Columbia. I grew up a huge Braves fan.
Yeah.
And Chipper Jones.
No kidding.
I have him on my phone, and I'd text him, once or twice a year. Hey, how's everything going? So he's one. Obviously, Josh Allen, who I played with in Buffalo, is like the hottest
He's a
name.
cool guy, yeah.
Oh, he's like a fraternity boy. He
He's-
was. I mean, I was only there. I was there his first 3 years. I didn't get like really good Josh Allen. I got like young, immature, like learning to play football Josh Allen. But he's absolutely blown the roof off of the place there.
Yeah.
Yes, I would say probably those two. I mean, like one of my favorite people that I played with was Devontae Freeman. He grew up in Miami, Florida, went to Miami Central, came from absolutely nothing. Like grew up in the Pork and Beans neighborhood, which is a high crime, gangs, all that stuff. I mean, he was explaining stories to me, and I'm like, dude, I can't even imagine this. But he had a heart of gold, and we kind of just connected on a really deep level. And I think that was part of our success, is like he saw what I saw, and we always played together. So he's one of my best buds, and the guy I still keep in contact with.
Great. Did you ever get a chance to meet Tiger Woods at all?
I did, yeah.
You did?
Yeah. A couple times. Like Chris would always take our family on 1 to 2 trips a year growing up.
Yeah.
He actually used to take he took me and my sister for 3 years before they had kids. My sister's 2 years older than me. They would take us, him and his wife, Amy, would take us on a trip.
Yeah.
This was like, are we ready to be parents or not ready to be parents? And they would take us. But I remember there's a story of Uncle Chris. We went to a breakfast place, and like I was probably 5 or 6, and I didn't cut my food.
Yeah.
And my mom always cut my food.
Yeah.
And like I had pancakes sitting right there, and I'm just staring at him. And he's like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, are you going to eat your pancakes or what? And I'm like, my mom usually cuts my pancakes. He's like, well, you're going to go hungry on this trip if you don't learn to cut. So I learned to cut my food from Uncle Chris.
Yeah, that's great.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
And so I have 2 quick ones. What is your current golf handicap?
I am currently a 3 handicap, like a high 2s 3 handicap. I'm actually late August, in about a month, I'll be heading out to somewhere in Alabama to play in. There's this new like professional former athlete golf league called the Pro Rivals Tour. I've played in one event. It was out in Frisco, Texas. That I'm going to play in my second event here at the end of August. And this one is a lot. Like I'm probably the worst golfer going to this. Like
Really?
it's like John Smoltz, Marty Fish, Ryan Suckup. These guys are all like +4, +5.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get my ass kicked.
Yeah, that's fun.
How often are you playing?
Probably twice a month.
Twice a month.
One time of that is probably in like a charity event.
Yeah.
Which does nothing for my game.
Right.
I hit the ball a long way, so everyone's like, "Oh, we got one out there, Pat. Try to drive the green." I'm like, "It's 400 yards. Like, I can't drive the green." They're like, "We'll try." I'm like, "Oh, bye-bye, Pro V1."
Yep.
And then, so I joined Wood Creek and won the wait list
Nice.
at Forest Lake in town. I love golf. It's kind of one of my, it's one sport that I can still play. Being 36 years old forever.
Right.
And still be competitive, being outside, but it's not as strenuous on your bodies, which is nice.
Great.
That's good. And then how can we support you, or how can the listeners support you?
Well, I mean, find Tailgate Talks on social media. We're trying to work our way up to be the #1 hottest podcast in Columbia. So you guys might be able to help us.
I don't see that happening, but
a little
good luck.
little bit of blend here. Any real estate professionals here in town, like send deals over to Cason Development. We're always looking at stuff. Local here to Columbia, industrial, retail, multifamily. You kind of do a little bit of everything. So
nice.
That, and then be on the lookout for the gyms coming out here, hopefully in the next
sweet.
coming months, which is pretty exciting.
With Big Trav, right?
Yeah. Travis is my guy.
Awesome. Well, this has been a blast. Thanks so much for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
That was
It was
great.
fun.
All right.
Here
We're here for the health of it.
for the health of it.